We will be talking about The Sixth Sense. The scene I'm going to be analyzing is about Cole and his mother. When they're in a car and there happens to be a car accident, Cole tells his mom, "Mom, I need to tell you my secret. I'm ready to talk to you." And she said, "Well, what's going on?" And he tells her that he sees dead people. His mom at first cannot believe it, and she is quite shocked, and she says, "Cole, you're scaring me. Why do you say that?" And he said, "Well, there's a woman that just died, and she is standing right next to me." She is really scared then. And he starts talking to her about his grandmother. He says, "Well, Grandma says hi, and she wants you to know that she did see you when you were dancing a long time ago when you guys had a fight." At this point, his mom starts crying because she starts to believe what Cole is saying. Like, at first she thought, well, it's kids' things that maybe he's just making it up. And he tells her, "Mom, I really can't see ghosts." So I believe that his mom is really convinced by the fact that Cole starts to state things that happened to her in the past about her and her mother. We have skepticism in this scene because we're talking about how do we know the ghosts that Cole sees are real or not. They are definitely real because of what the movie portrays. We can see that Cole is really cold when the ghosts appear, and we can see that he is also very scared. He's often scared about doing certain things because he feels like he is watched or he is going to see another person. And the truth about that is that he sees ghosts as real people. So he is really scared because they want him to do things for them. So the skepticism here is, how do we know that they're real? Well, in the example of his mother, we can see that Cole started to provide details and certain dates and stuff, so she started to believe that they are real. And in his mind, well, they are real because he can see them, he can talk to them, and they want something from him. It's not like he imagines things. Then we have rationalism versus empiricism. And I believe that Cole was definitely giving this ability to see the dead people for a purpose. But he doesn't understand it because he's just a little kid. But he wasn't born with this ability. Like, we don't know if he was actually born to be a ghost translator or a ghost helper. So we can't really determine if he was just born with it or giving this gift. And in empiricism, I believe that he does use his senses to see the ghost because he's using his sight. And also the touch that they give to him, not only physically, but he is really scared. Like, Cole often runs away or cries because he is near a ghost. And I think that this influences a lot in how he knows things, because he can easily imagine things, and if he were crazy, like, it wouldn't be as real. Like, his mother wouldn't have felt that emotion when he talked to her about her grandma, and she wouldn't be able to feel the tension and the fear that Cole transmitted to her. So I believe that Cole knows and sees about these ghosts because of his ability, and the senses that he uses are obviously his sight, because he really believes and really knows that they are there, that he feels them near, and that way he can talk to his psychologist and his mother about them.
Today I'm going to be talking about the scene in The Sixth Sense where Cole, in this case, wakes up from his bed and he wants to go to the bathroom, but he's too afraid because he is seeing ghosts every now and then. So he goes fast to the bathroom, and when he is taking a pee, the temperature, the sign that indicates how low is the temperature, suddenly it comes down, and this is obviously because there is a ghost or a presence nearby him, and it was true because a ghost appeared to him, which was an old lady who suicided herself because of her husband. So I found this that we can analyze it by in a lot of themes, primarily rationalism versus empiricism. Well, here there's not a lot to analyze because it's clearly that empiricism takes over rationalism because it's obvious that it's his sense, what he feels, that indicates his knowledge about these ghosts, of his sight, what he hears, what he feels. It all has to do with his senses and not with the human reason, because in this movie I believe human reason is one of the last things that appears because, I mean, at the beginning we can see the mom that tries to reason him that it's not true, but it all fails. It all has to do with his senses. As we can see in the scene, he is in the bathroom and he sees this presence, this ghost, and approaches to the ghost and asks him some questions. Then the other theme we can see is the skepticism. How can we know this is true? Well, I think we know this is true simply by knowing that in the temperature, it indicates that the temperature came down all of a sudden, which means that there was a presence, a ghost somewhere, because they carry on very cold temperatures. So I believe this is one of the actual ways we can know that ghost was really there, besides his senses and all what he sees and feels. And at last we can see is seeing actually believing. Well, I think it has to do with a lot of things, but primarily, I mean, you can see a lot of things that may not be, for example, when you're in your real life, like at school or something like that, but for example, if you see it, you're actually believing it, because at seeing someone or something, it means that it doesn't matter where you are, you're actually believing what you're seeing. So I believe that this theory is actually true, because when he is in the bathroom and sees this ghost, he all of a sudden sees her and believes it's true, because he gets scared, goes to his bedroom and goes down the bed. So we can see if, for example, it was not true, he would have just see it and ignore it, but this is not the case, because he saw it and he went to his room scared. So this is why I do believe seeing what he saw, he actually believed it.
The movie we chose is The Sixth Sense by M. Night. The plot of this movie is about a kid called Cole, who is able to talk with the dead. Throughout the movie, Cole talks and familiarizes with the dead. Some of these ghosts look for him for help so that they can find the light. The Cards epistemologic theme is about dreams and evil deceivers, which question how do I know if I'm awake, that this is my body, that I can trust myself. Cole is deceived through the movie that this psychiatrist is alive and is helping him with the issue of being able to talk with ghosts and all the insecurities that brings to his life. Once we learn that the doctor is not alive, then in fact he was killed by one of his patients that night when he was shot, we think about the past scenes in which we believe the doctor is real and that he was alive and helping him throughout all this crisis. We realize that in fact Cole was the only one able to see and talk with him. During many scenes, we do believe that he is real. We are deceived by our own senses just like Cole was deceived. He trusted his senses that the doctor was real when he wasn't. After the viewer is allowed into this scene that we start questioning the movie, most like a skeptic. A skeptic is someone who believes to know nothing at all, that everything that he or she has been taught isn't right. Skeptic is the only epistemology which states we know nothing, instead of the empiricists and rationalists, which believe that knowledge is either received by reason or experiences that we have through our life. Kantian transcendentalism combines both of the theories, eliminating all the negative or incorrect statements of each, which at the end will only leave what is true about both of them, competing on ultimate truth. This movie has a skeptic plot. because how could the kid know he was the only one seeing the ghost? Also, he wasn't able to distinguish correctly whether you were a ghost or a real human being. His senses and reason made him trust that the doctor was real, and he accepted that as the truth until the end, when he is shown that the ultimate truth of the doctor, which is that he is dead.